Greetings and welcome to Jefficho Films. I enjoyed the first It. I also really enjoyed the miniseries. Had a couple of problems with It Chapter 2, but overall it's still a good movie. So, let's review it. It starts out with a hate crime, reminding us how influenced Derry is with negative emotions, but it never really builds on it. I felt like it rushed the character's return too. I mean, one looks at his hand, then he's in pain and quickly cuts away. Others felt sick. I don't know, I just thought there was an opportunity to introduce the new versions of these characters a little bit better than they did in the 90s version.
I crashed my car. Seriously? Yeah.
Man, I hear you. I mean, my heart was literally like pounding right out of my chest.
I thought it was only me.
It was like pure fear.
And Bill's wife never shows up, which was a motivational factor for him to overcome his fears to save her. And as cheesy as it was in the 1990 version, watching him bring her back, being stuck in the deadlights, was a good emotional beat, and frankly, I didn't need a love triangle. I also felt like some of the dialogue was really pointing out how much better Chastain, McAvoy, and Hader were above the others. One of my big concerns was a cheesy looking giant cockroach that they had in the 1990s version, and they didn't really fix it for me. Sure, the effects looked a bit better, but putting Pennywise's head on top of a giant spider creature, it didn't creep me out like I was hoping to be creeped out. And I wasn't a big fan of defeating the clown by hurting his feelings. I get the novel has some psychic connection stuff, but isn't that supposed to take place in a macroverse involving space turtles? Mike's an idiot for thinking the ritual worked. If it worked, why would it still be around? Also, wouldn't it change up his cycle a bit? Because in the last one, he got hurt. So, he's coming back every 27 years, but he was pretty injured last time. Wouldn't he, sleep in? And Mike stay behind for what reasons? To warn his friends if it ever comes back? Research it? Learn how to drug his friends? It's funny how drugging Bill led to Pennywise flashbacks. I think Beverly above all others should have had a stronger connection with it. I mean, he floated her. Did that mean nothing to her? And that giant Paul Bunyan scene, sure, it looked fine, but it was kind of odd. I'm afraid of a giant statue of Paul Bunyan. Also, the people dancing in the background. That was so 90s. I don't know if you noticed, but Eddie married his mom. Literally the same woman that played his mom in the last one, played his wife in this one. Probably hurt more when Richie implied banging her.
We need to remember. We need to remember.
Thank God Pennywise gave Bill his boat, otherwise he wouldn't be able to do the ritual. So no one brought a weapon. That's one of my biggest problems. You're going to go fight this clown and you don't bring any weapons. One person brought something they picked up off the ground. Good for you. Stanley's suicide being passed off as heroic was kind of weird. I'm so afraid of something that I'm going to kill myself that because I can't deal with it. But first, let me write 7 notes to my friends. Finally, I'm sad Pennywise lost. He was so good, especially when he ate children. Those scenes were amazing. It just felt like a lot of this was rushed, which didn't make a lot of sense, because the original was 3 hours and 12 minutes, and the new ones, if you combine both of them, is 5 hours. So there's that much more storytelling you can do. Andy Machete says he'd like to come back for more, and after the last one, I thought a prequel could be pretty sweet. I mean, you could go back pretty far to the point where we have swords in the movie, which I'm always on board for, but you'd lose Skarsgård because, isn't he only a couple hundred years old? And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing something new and different like that, but I really kind of want more Skarsgård because he was awesome. I mean, I guess you could do a chapter 3 and add all new characters. I would suggest a Stranger Things mix where you have older characters and younger characters working together, and that way, he can just keep killing those guys off. And I'd like them to explore some of the themes more, like the sickness that infects Derry. I'd like to see that explored a bit more. And also, I'd like to learn more about him. Not always through a history lesson. Maybe through, adaptation and his changes and methods and how he kills and stalks. I mean, they touch on Henry Bowers and the dead Uber, but fatally stabbing him in the chest didn't kill him, but then fatally stabbing him in the back of the head did. Please explore that and explain it, maybe, too. Wiki's claiming the budget is 60 to 79 million, so they don't really have it locked down right now, but that is freaking impressive for this movie. It was really well shot.
Do you guys think we'll still be friends when we're older? We'll always be friends.
Yes, Dad, you don't have to be so scared.
We made an oath. Remember?
In the end, any of these complaints I have are pretty minuscule, and it's because I'm holding it up above a lot of horror movies because I thought that last one was brilliant. I think Pennywise as a character is brilliant. what other character out there has as much about him as this? Pennywise is like hunting to feed, which is way more important than like Jason, who just wants to kill campers, or Michael, who just wants to kill people in his way to get to his sister, depending on the version you watch. But like Freddy, who just wants to haunt people in those nightmares, like he needs to feed. This is an actual thing. This is like watching a shark, and this is why I enjoy shark movies, because sharks have this nature and they're just following their nature. They're not the villains.
We need to remember.
Hello.
Is Pennywise even the villain in this one? I mean, yeah, he ate that guy in the river, but that's just like putting down a suffering animal. And he gave that little girl confidence.
You're not my friend, you're scary. Why are you crying?
People always make fun because of the way I look.
I mean, that was such a beautiful scene, and she did such a good job. Victoria Fuller's her character's name, and I was just like, it was adorable. He saved that boy from Bill. I mean, a guy follows a kid into an amusement park. What's a worse fate?
Hello.
No. No, please.
They ignored his children being in this, but it happened. He helped reunite friends. He saved Beverly from an abusive relationship, and what thanks did he get? A selfless alien life form helps build a town and dresses as a clown to entertain children, and he's painted a villain. I guess the moral of the story is you don't play with your food, especially when they're adults. You should probably kill them faster this way. I think I was unhappy with like the ending both times, when the kids were beating up on it, and then when he was getting beaten up in this one. Like, I think I'm on Team Pennywise. I didn't even think to stay for the credits to see if they have an in memory for John Ritter, because man was he ever awesome in the original. The new Ben, he was okay. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more from Andy Muschietti and what else he's done, because he really impressed me with this series that he's done, and I hope he returns to it. And I'd say go watch it if you haven't seen it, because it's a perfect companion piece with the first one. You should probably watch them both together. It's 5 hours long, but I think that's how you do it. As always, thanks for watching.